What's up, guys? Bang, bang. This was a big week for Bitcoin. Bitcoin wallet addresses on chain that have at least one Bitcoin officially crossed over 1 million users. That's right. On chain, 1 million different wallet addresses now hold at least one full Bitcoin. It's a hell of a lot of full Bitcoin owners. On top of that, we saw Robert Kennedy Jr. at the Bitcoin conference. He said that he believes Bitcoin is an exercise of democracy. Here's a quick clip.
And so I want to thank all of you guys for coming here and all of you for supporting this. I know everybody is so passionate about Bitcoin, not just because it's a currency, but because it's an exercise in democracy. And when I'm president, I'm going to make sure that you got your own wallet, that you keep your own password, that the government can't interfere with it, that nobody's going to be taxing your electricity 30% and going into your computers and taking those intrusive measurements, and that we can nurture this product at home in America, where it's going to create an infrastructure and create wealth for Americans. So thank you all very much.
If we then take a look, not only is Robert Kennedy Jr. excited about Bitcoin, Paul Tudor Jones was interviewed earlier this week by Andrew Ross Sorkin with CNBC. And Paul Tudor Jones said he's sticking with Bitcoin. He already said that it was going to be the fastest horse, and he's still riding that horse. Here's what Paul had to say about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. You came on our air during the early part of the pandemic. I think it was trading at $8,000, $9,000 a coin. And you said, I'm in. And I think you rode it all the way up to 60 some odd $1,000. And we then rode it back down to $15,000, and we're now sitting, I think, somewhere around $27,000.
I've never sat on a horse that long, just so you know.
So what's you're still on the horse, though?
From the beginning, I've always said I want to have a small allocation to it because it's a great tail event. It's the only thing that humans can't adjust the supply in. So I'm sticking with it. I'm going to always stick with it as just a small diversification in my portfolio. What do I think right now? I liked it last December. I still think I mean...
Would you buy more right now?
Would I buy more? I would probably... I look at it in gold, and I think they've done so well recently because of the fact that we have had these great risk premiums. I wonder whether they may not be boring in the future.
Right.
So Bitcoin has a real problem because in the United States you have the entire regulatory apparatus against it. So it's just kind of yesterday's news. And if inflation's truly done a bit, if that story's been played, then you have to wonder. We were buying gold and Bitcoin for the inflation hedges. That game may be over. I would, in 6 months ago, before AI, before the possible productivity boost that we'll get for it, I would have said a completely different story with regard to the inflationary future and with regard to all the inflation hedge.
Now, Paul Tudor Jones and Robert Kennedy Jr., they come from two completely different worlds. But if we bring it right back to people in the Bitcoin and crypto industry, we see that Tether, they now are going to take 15% of all of their profits and use it to buy Bitcoin. That will be consistent, persistent buying pressure in the market. Bitcoin's up about 60% to start the year. And as we see more and more people dollar cost averaging in, seeing the 1 million Bitcoin addresses with at least one Bitcoin on it, and then all of these people from Tether, Paul Tudor Jones, and Robert Kennedy Jr. coming out in support of Bitcoin tells you that Bitcoin's not over, and it's probably likely that Bitcoin's got a bright future ahead. Hope you enjoy these updates. See you next Saturday.